Hey guys, what's going on? You know what's really crazy? Really crazy. Whether it's a book or a song, whether it's a door that creaks, that moves, I look and I see the time. I see a letter. I see a vision. I start to think. Everything starts to come together, and all of a sudden, I'm on a path. Someone interrupts me, I forget, and I remember. And my path branches out like a tree. And inside that path, I dig even deeper, and I see within, creating the leaves. Yet, I couldn't do anything unless I was rooted to the ground by the spirit of the earth. 432 megahertz. Ever hear of it? It's a pairing up of 216 on both sides. What 216 means is 6, 1, and 2. Beta alpha, spirit, okay, of the angel. The connection between beta alpha angel south, beta alpha angel north. Reverse the north from the south, okay, and what you have is delta, okay, and what do you call it? Zeta is what you would have. Delta, zeta, 4 and 6. Because when you reverse it, if you give it the same numbers just with south, south also means if you draw two lines in south, what happens, it creates that F, and then it creates the two lines, which means they're joined at the center, in between the 11. The two digital dots you see on your clock, what, you think it means nothing? Every time you see it something, you can outline it, and all of a sudden the inside of what was lit now on your digital clock is now just a round circle from your pen. So now the inside and the outside is the same. The difference is this. All you have to do now is make a bigger circle on both of them, and you got an 8. Digital, digital, 2 dots, 2 dots, you got 88. With the two numbers, you have 90. And the one spirit, you are 91. In the one world, you are 92. Beta birth in this world, 29. 15 and 14 together. N-O. I don't mean no. I don't mean on. I mean those are the two letters that divide, separate, and connect both sides of the alphabet between M, the letter, and O. The N is the middle. It's the 14th letter, although there's not 28 letters. But wait, there are 27 if you reconnect the alphabet, okay, between omega, Z, okay, and alpha, A. You put a Y. Some people would put a psi, the Greek psi. I'm starting to learn this Greek language, but let me tell you one thing. The Greek language is a little upside down. The Jews, they're a little bit backwards. That's why I've seen many things about it's the Jews' fault, this is going to happen in the States. And you know what? You don't see it? They did it all backwards, man. They went into Israel. I mean, this is what I'm thinking, you know, so it means nothing. It's in the book. In the book, this is what they did. They go into Israel 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years ago from the Bible. Okay? They already know the underground, okay, has a connection to every single element of communication in this entire world from A to Y and A again. It has connected everything. Everything comes like the onion back at the bottom. Well, guess what? The two bottoms up are the Baltic and the Mediterranean. You can't let anybody in. So let me go back. I'm not going to go back as far as George Washington and Mount Rushmore up on Highway 90, the birth highway. It means an action of birth. Something got to be happening up there on Highway 90, my friends. And 85, 985, oh my God, what a combination. They put the speed limit in Montana up to 85 miles an hour. The passage of the heavens. What are they doing up there? What does it mean? I don't know what it means. I just know it's a huge number to be connected right there. Those numbers are there. So if somebody can figure out 985, well, you've got a connection. But don't forget, you can look at it as 850 because this is the 10 world. So everything gets multiplied by 10. The objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. The objects in the mirror are further than they seem to be. You know what I'm saying? This is a backwards, frontwards explanation. Which is the best way to explain? This way or that way? They have to do it because one of the ways has to work. All the ways that no matter which way you choose, this way or that way, it's always this way at the end. Because the chosen point connects. If you don't choose, it's in between. But if you don't choose, like the song they say, if you haven't chosen, you chose not to choose. Tuesday, 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 Friday, Saturday, I don't know, Saturn day. I fool around with all this. Have you seen the trees grow? They don't bark, but there's bark on the tree. And it's not the dogs that bark up a tree. It's man, the dog, that barks up a tree. All this is all definitely most relevant right down from the first time you said, "Mommy, I want a cracker." Well, you just were repeating things just like the bird. When you were a child, you started to learn the ins and outs of this world. We were sewn together by two different worlds, okay? But we are steel. Steel? It's a steel. Do you know why? We are ourselves. We can choose to be ourselves. And if the best is of the goodness of the totality of everybody, that's the side I want to be on. So I sew myself to that side, no matter how they pull me away. How can they pull me away? What are they going to offer me? Because whatever they offer me, they have to offer the rest of the world. I'll take at the beginning, but I can't keep it. It's got to be shared. It's the way it is. You know how they say it in companies? You got a cooperative, you got to cooperate, and you got to share. So they give you a share, they give it a number. The minute all these shares get numbers, that's where everything gets fucked up. We're all equal in this world, okay? If you choose not to work the plantation, how will you eat? Whether the garment you are creating for yourself or someone else, it's going to be exchanged with a vegetable. Over time, we had too many garments and too many vegetables. We had to create something that separated us, but actually brought us together when we wanted to make an exchange. Change, please. Let's go to McDonald's, where you always got change in your hands. Jingle, jingle. Remember Santa Claus? The jingle, jingle is the change in your hand. It's what you do with the change in your mind is all up to you. Now, if you're in a disposition of listening to me but not understanding me because you are sort of either in another world, drugged by somebody else, not old enough, not in the same pattern as I, you can't grab on. I'll make it simple. Okay? Just think of this. You walk down the street, you got a gun in your hand, okay? If you ever think to kill anybody, that's okay. If you never kill anybody, that's the best. It means you love everybody. Then you say, well, the gun is my protection. And you're absolutely right. The gun is your protection. I'm going to explain to you why, okay? Very simple. I don't know if you want me to use a why or not a why, but I'm going to choose the why. And hold on a second, I'm just writing something down over here. P16, 0, 15, 31, 41, 45, 49, 54, 64, 72. Oh my God, 11-4. Gunpowder, okay, or gun, is the 7th letter, the 21st letter, and the 14th letter in the alphabet. 7, 14, 21. 1, 7, 2, 7, 3 sevens, 6 sevens. Played slot machines lately? 6 sevens. Where did they come from? They come from where they are. And that's what they are, from where they came. Every letter has a level in which it stops. Everything goes up to a certain level and it stops. And it starts over again. So what we're going to do here, so gun, okay, or Ted Nugent, or a nugget, or a golden nugget, is actually part of the gun. The golden nugget, okay? And what's really funny about this is they have the Denver Nuggets, and if that's where the gold is in the Colorado mountains, that's where they're going to bury themselves. For what reason in Colorado, I don't know. I thought Montana would be the best place to dig a hole and hide. I mean, 9 times 5 is 45. It means the foxhole. 9 times 8 is 72, means the two sides of the heaven up in Montana. It tells you everything that's good up in Montana. Okay? You took highway either 25 or 27, which would be YZY. 25th letter, 27th letter, in between the Z. The Z is your house. You took the road to your house because the N turns to a Z the same way if the Y can go this way, okay, and on the other side and connect the A, you can turn the Z to look like an N, and now you got an YZY. And you're up there in Montana. Connected speed limit 85 miles an hour. Highway 90, I'm not sure if Highway 25 runs in there, but if it does, it means the beta egg, the connection to the beta world. Okay? They have something up there. They have to. All these highways meet, just like Kansas City. Highway 35 and Highway 70 means Bluff 105. 4 times 105 is 420, the maximum amount of words you're allowed to use on Facebook. So all these highways connect, you see, and that's how I connect Quebec so perfectly, because it runs from Roswell down Amarillo, okay, over to Roswell, where I found the Roswell stone and I redesigned it to a mug and doveit. It's a brown stone. I call it the mug and doveit brown stone. I redesigned it. I put it in my hand, inside my mind, on chapter of any kind. The chapter in this page, on this page, in this book. I saw it melting in the hand of the extraterrestrial. The vibration and elements that are within his hands, his pores, it just absorbs it like part of an atom of some sort. And he can control anything from that inside his hand. You can never remove it. You can't cut it off, because if he's not alive, the thing don't work. You can't possibly make it work on vibes that don't exist here. The vibration of an extraterrestrial, the one that comes from outside. See, my last name is ETH, right? Extraterrestrial heaven. ETH. E is the passage, the fifth letter of beta, B and E, breaking and entering. Don't you look at Highway 25 up in Colorado? B is the two-letter, what? The fifth letter is an E. B and E, breaking and entering. They're breaking and they're entering. They're breaking the stone, they're rocking the stone, they're going inside the stone of the Stony Mountains. Yosemite, calling of the bears, right? Calling of the bulls, calling of the bears, the last bear. Everything connects. Like I said, Kansas City, Highway 70, Highway 35. They are half of each other. 5 and 8 is passage, 70 is 7X. It's X-Man. His world connect. 70. It's actually like a 7. But the 70 would put him up a level. So instead of being 7G or G7 Summit, that's how it came about, you'd be at the 14th letter, you'd be an N letter instead of the other one, because you went up a level. And if you go up another level, you become the U on the next level, as each time you move up a level. Because like in pool, hey man, 7 balls, right? 1 to 7 for the bottom solids in pool, and well, 9 to 15. Isn't it pretty funny? Spirit of 76, stripes and solids. The solids, missed you up there, right? The solids end at ball number 7, single digits, but they start in a single digit too. The 9, because that's the 9 birth, and you only can become from God because 7, 8, and 9 are from the God's world. You never, the only thing you ever get to do with 7, 8, and 9, the only thing you ever get to do with 7, 8, and 9 is you pass through the 7th gate of the 8th heaven of the 9 birth, now a stripe. Now we go in stripes all the way up to 15, but 1 and 5 only equals 6. So the low balls get 7, the high balls get 6. The spirit is 76 right on your pool table. Another thing that came up, I'm not quite sure I showed you in a video as of yet. Am I repeating myself? Well, that's okay. In case you missed the first time, that's okay. That's okay if you missed the first time. Just in case I missed the first time, that's not okay. You can rewind, and I have to redesign the mind, the way I think, the way I see it, the way I feel it. I'm very tense, you know. Do you see I'm tense? I'm tense. Am I saying I'm tense? I'm a little tense. Sometimes I think I'm Superman. But you know what? Some days I just sit back here and say, well, if God gives me a present, what would he give me when I come here to save the people of the world just through the words of MrTacpans? I don't know. I feel like this is so true, that things are going to happen and will happen and must happen. For I feel involved inside the elements of the vibrations of this planet. Last night, and every night, do you know what I saw last night? It was weird. I saw cat shit on the floor. And I think the owner came over. Now, is that because he's selling the building and they told me to clean up? Or is that because Beta's getting ready for action? And like I said, how do you involve Pope Benoit? How do you involve him? How do you involve the Queen? I never hear of her. Maybe I don't watch enough news. I know I don't watch enough news. I definitely don't watch enough news. I'm definitely not up to date, and I should be more up to date. Oh, Mac. Oh, right, Mac. Did I ever tell you about Mac, Big Mac, Back Mac? Okay, Mac to me reminds me of Jesus Christ. Because you walk around, nobody wants to say Jesus Christ. They're saying it, someone's mad, you've come to a situation, you hear Jesus Christ, somebody's mad, you want to listen. But if you hear a conversation saying, Holy Mac, but in my history, okay, Holy Mac is Jesus Christ. You're going, what's Holy Mac? Well, Holy Mac, that's what he did. I watched a show last night, and they were presenting John. Now, it was really weird, so I'm going to explain to you the best I can. They couldn't be Christians. They were Christians. I mean, if he was really a businessman, Christ, when he came down here, I mean, wouldn't you think he'd set up sort of some kind of organization so he can take over properly? Or did he come down here to shock us? To have the disciples to write those books from however they visioned and perceived? Now the question comes like this. I also have that feeling. I also feel I'm getting all these notions, but I'm not maybe accepting the vibrations of God to being able to blank myself out into the other world. I've already done that. I've been there. But should I do it alone? A, you don't drink. No drugs. Oh, you can smoke a little weed. You know, it's not so bad, weed. Actually, some people say cocaine is good. Just a bit. A little heroin, morphine, and all these drugs. Somehow there's some certain combination that you can restructure your mind. And then again, you can choose meditation. But you must believe. That's the thing. That's why the drugs, you know, when you get to the drug, you lift. You don't care about anything else. You're in the drug, so you're believing a lot easier. Easier to get there. Open up the door. Why do you think all these drugs weren't made like a potion? Take a little bit of LSD with a glass of Coke, and it'll just lift your spirits into a weird world. Because they don't want us there. They don't want us to see that world. If we want to see that world, we got to work for it. Well, let's work for it. So if you're a guy, you're out in the field, you're out with the cows, you're out on the highway, you're out on the road, you're picking up something, you're out shopping, you're doing something. By the time you get home and leave at 6 and get up at 5 o'clock to take your shower and come home at 8 o'clock at night, how are you supposed to get your license renewed? Take the phone during the day. You want to do things relaxed and calm. Nothing should be forced, okay, in this format. So we must formate ourselves. Because if we don't formate ourselves, formation, we fornicate ourselves by screwing ourselves all the time, by not being able to set up. And like I said earlier, some of us just don't have it. They just don't know how to set up. And it's not their fault because they know something we don't know. Or we find them stupid about something because it's something that's stupid. That's what it means to most of the people. But to her, oh, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. It's not stupid to her. So you have to understand to learn to meld. But she has to really understand now, nothing is stupid because you can see it, you can visualize it, you can imagine it. And you want to hear stupid? Rhymes, fairy tales, stories that aren't true. Is that all stupid? No. So if we can like what's not true, how can't we not accept what she sees or he sees? Okay? He sees, she sees, it doesn't really matter who sees. To them it's true. Now sometimes, yes, certain people need a little guidance because the truth of the reality that they are in, it's good to be there if they know actually where they are. Because you're not going to drive your car down the road and go, wow, the red light means hit, doesn't it? Or stop. So somebody puts on his brakes, you see the red light, you stop. Guy hit you from behind. Hey, you E.T., why did you stop? Never mind, let me finish off with my last name. F-R-E-M-E-T-H. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. R-O-N-A-L-D. Spirit is 76. R-O-N-N-I-E. Spirit is 76. Now watch this one. R-A-P-H-A-E-L. 7. Raphael Frimeth. 77. 2 worlds. 7 islands. 9 passes. 4 corners odd. 4 corners even. Around we go. The most we can get is the birth of 9, but all the time we live on 8, 8, 8. It's the Trinity. It's saying our mind is in the heavens of 888. There is another 8 down below. Upside down. Look, what's the difference? It looks the same. There is a number classified piece of stuff. Everything seems to fit together. I'm going to just show you one little design I was looking at today, and I found it a little intriguing. So I'm going to sort of see if I can come out here and show you. Okay, first it's the letter B. Yes, the letter B. Okay, you see, this is the 10 Commandments. This says 13. But what's 13? The B world is 10. So this would be 130, or it would be B 10. But they have to go through the 7th gate. They have to go through the 7th gate in the beta world. To get into the beta world, they have to go through the 7th gate. Okay, the 7th gate is the N letter 14. This is 13, don't forget. The 7th gate would be 14 right here, but not in this equation. Okay, 7th gate, okay, 7th gate of X-Man. You would have gate X 13, the B. The reason why the Greeks go gate X 13 is because of the beta world. It's the gate, okay, of X. X is 10 in Roman numerals, and that's the way the Greeks would do it. That's why I have to always continue to play around with my X. You see, if I make a perfect X in a square, I can divide it up into 4 and say it's 4 V's. But if I elongate the X into 2 worlds, I only have 2 V's, because they're no longer equal. Although sometimes you see 2 lines, like you don't see 2 lions, but although sometimes you see 2 lines, okay, I'm going to try to show you right here, right? Now, one of the reasons we don't pronounce the H, because it is the heaven, and in that phrase, when you have GHT, transmission already means you already have the heaven. GHT. Once you pronounce the silent, like straight, STR, AI, which means 8. Straight, 8. It pronounces right in, you're already in the 8. You don't have to pronounce the GH, because to get to the 8, you need the gates of H, which is 8, of T, transmission through the gates of 8, through the 7th gate X. 13. Why 13? Because like I showed you over here, the B becomes a 13, 1 and 3. Now you always have the carryover here and here. The reason you have that carryover, because they're always stipulating the letter I. There's always a birth with these letters. Anytime you see a letter where the tails go over, like in cards, okay, because they're stipulating that the letter I now exists in this world. The A sometimes has it, and it sometimes doesn't. So what I'm going to show you here, okay, is something a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to try and see if you can make this out. I'm going to try my best to do my best design. And I'm going to show you back your... Oh, I got a pen holding another page. Hold on. So, I redesigned this, okay, and I extended this line here over here. I didn't touch it so I can explain the whole thing. Now this looks like a T transmission, right? This was the cross line, don't forget, of your B. So when I turn it this way, excuse me, sorry, let me finish off. Automatically, because of this, just this one line of the division, don't forget tic-tac-toe, this side, and this side, there's 3 levels here, tic-tac-toe. The top line, the bottom line, and the center create an E. So you have B and E breaking and entering the 2nd letter and the 5th letter. Okay, 2nd and 5th. You got T for transmission, which means 20. Beta world is 2 times the X 10 is 20, and TTT 10 20 30 stands for it right here. And the reason why 10 20 30 is because we use the T in 3 different corners. Okay, I'm going to try and show you over here. Okay, don't look at this. These are all T's because they're on an angle. Oh, come on. Because they're on an angle, they look like upside down Y's, right? So I can use that as a T or a Y now. If you look at the empty space, which is supposed to be over here really, it's because what happens is this one over here, the spirit corner, is no longer there. Okay, you start from beta, the 10 world. You start on 2. Okay, 10, 20, 30. T, T, T. 20, 40, 60. Value, man is 60. T60, T6, TF. Thank goodness it's Friday. It all connects formatically. It took a long time for it to connect right down to the point of what my vision perceives. But it's always been there from day one. That's how these people that carved stone in the Mayan were able to do this, because they saw past history. You see, when you see it instantly, the past history, you get a drift of the breath of the air. You feel the sand on your back. You have the vision, they're still talking about it. So you can broaden it out. So that's what they did, but we're missing that from now to back then. Anyways, let me show you what else this bee does, okay? Okay, you see this bee? Take a good look. Watch. You see it? Watch what I'm going to do to this one here. Whoop! I want to finish. I want to finish this thing here. Can you see it? I did this one instead of this one. Look, it's 2 aces. 1 ace, 2 aces. 1 and 1 makes 2. They create a bee. And not only that, there's a D inside, and the mouth over here creates 2 C's. Don't forget, you don't see. You see, well, what about the bottom line? Well, you can screw off the bottom line. It's another world. That's an F, that's an E, that's a C. And it's all coming from me. So anyways, we got 26 minutes here. I probably have a whole lot more. I'm always all over the place. Yeah, I wanted to do gunpowder. Okay, so I wrote it down twice, and you want to hear something funny? That